So, you're thinking about moving right here to Houston, Texas, but you haven't decided if you want a new construction home or a resale home. Well, I'm here to tell you that is probably one of the first questions that you need to answer when you start to look at homes here in the Houston area. And the reason that I say that is because they're two completely different things. They're completely different searches, they've got different timelines, and ultimately, they're also going to be located in different areas. And so in today's video, I'm going to list all of the pros and all of the pros of new construction and resale. So we're going to go into some of the cons as well, but really we're just going to focus on, what makes new construction appealing and what makes resale homes appealing, because they are going to be different things, and some of them are going to be things that you've never thought of before. So if that interests you at all, stick around and let's get after it right now. So before we dive in, if this is your first time to the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living right here in Houston, Texas, subscribe to our channel and tap that bell for notifications, and we'll keep you up to date on everything going on right here in Houston, Texas. My name is Kyler Ferris. I'm the broker owner of Ferris Realty, and we get calls, texts, and emails every single day from people just like you watching our videos online, trying to see if Houston's the right fit for them. So if that's you, don't be shy. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us a quick email. That way we can help you make a smooth move right here to Houston, Texas. Now, as we said, we're going to jump straight in. We're going to talk about the new construction pros first. So there's a lot of new construction here in the Houston area, and depending on where you're coming from, you might not be used to the amount of new construction. A lot of the videos that we've done are centered around some of these new construction master planned communities. We've got builder neighborhoods. And so I'm just going to list off some of the things that I love when it comes to new construction. And the first one's probably the most obvious, and that's that it's new. See, whenever my wife and I were moving back to the Houston area, trying to figure out where we wanted to live, a big factor in that was we knew we wanted a new home. And it was really a couple of reasons. One, we didn't want it to have any issues, right? And that's not to say that some new construction homes don't have issues. That's actually one of the cons. Sometimes they have some issues because they haven't been lived in, and once you start living in them, you start to find little things. But one of the pros to that is that you have a home warranty. And so whenever you buy new construction here in Houston, you're typically going to get what's called a 1-2-10 warranty. You're going to get a 1-year warranty on all of the cosmetics. So if you need like sheetrock cracks, they'll patch those for you. It's completely covered. 2 years on mechanicals, so electrical and plumbing. If you have issues, they'll come back. It's covered. And then 10 years on structural and foundation. If they have issues, they'll come back and it's covered. So that's the thing that I love about new construction, is that it's new, it's covered by warranty. And another thing that I love is nobody's ever lived in it. So it's a clean slate, and it really is something that you can put your stamp on. And depending on whether or not you buy an inventory home that's already been built, or if you build from scratch with a dirt build, you're going to have more of an opportunity to customize the home. With resale homes, you get what exists. With new construction, if you start early enough in the process, you can pick everything out. I actually went through 2 new construction processes for myself personally. The first home I bought was an inventory home, and it was almost completed when we contracted on it. And it was a great experience, but I knew everything that I was getting. It was all picked out. It had the warranty, and it was great. But whenever we decided to build our next home, our more forever home, we went ahead and picked every single thing out, including the lot. And so that's something that's really unique about new construction, is if you start early enough in the process, you can pick the neighborhood that you want to be in, that's inside the area that you want to be in. Then you can select the builder you want to build with. Then you get to pick the lot that you're going to build on. And then you get to pick the house, the actual floor plan and footprint that you're going to build on it. And then you get to pick out the colors and the trims and the cabinets and the windows and everything in between, the lighting packages. And so when it's all said and done with new construction, I think you're a lot more likely to get exactly what you wanted. Now, one pro that a lot of people appreciate about new construction too is the floor plans that they build these days are going to be more open concepts. Whenever you look at resale homes here in the Houston area that were built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even 90s, they're going to be a little bit more compartmentalized. The resale homes are. The new homes, they've done a really good job of prioritizing opening up that living space and really giving you one big room in the house for everybody to hang out. And so that's another thing I like about new construction. Trying to think what else. One thing that I also appreciate about new construction is that usually it's in an area that's growing. Usually they're not always, but a lot of the times it's further outside of Houston. And so it's an area that maybe has been there for a while, but around that new construction, there's new growth. And so you're going to get new shopping centers, new commercial development up there, a lot of conveniences that way. And then another thing that I think is a pro of new construction is going to be the fact that a lot of times they're in these master plan neighborhoods that have all of these really great amenities. So they've got the community aspect, they've got the pools, the parks, the playgrounds, splash pads, lakes, ponds. You can go kayaking, hike and bike trails, and usually they'll have a nature component. And so when you package all of that up, it's very, very, very appealing. And so we've done some other videos. I won't get into like the build process of new construction, but ultimately I would say that's pretty much all of the pros that I appreciate and our clients appreciate when it comes to new construction. Now, let's talk resales. There are a lot of really great pros to resales. I think it's pretty easy to list the cons, right? The cons are just going to be the home's been lived in, it's older, it might be dated, the floor plan configuration might not be exactly as appealing as something today. You don't necessarily know what you're going to have to replace and when you're going to have to replace it. Obviously, you get inspections, you can get a pretty good idea, but you never know when that water heater is going to go out, right? And so you at least feel with new construction that you've got a fair shot at it. Now, here's what I will say is a pro to the resale homes. There are certain areas around the Houston area and suburbs that really only consist of resale homes, or in large part resale homes. And they're going to be gorgeous neighborhoods, gorgeous communities. One of them that's probably the most prominent that we cover a lot is the Woodlands. And it's not just because I live up here. It's because it really is one of the best suburbs here in the Houston area, but it's completely built out. And so you're pretty much, if you want to be in that area, you're going to have to go with a resale home. And so that's when you would prioritize a resale home. Now, some of the pros of resale homes, I think probably the biggest one is going to be lot size. So when you're in these new construction communities, they really do a good job of giving you everything you want on the smallest possible lot. And so I'm not saying that you can't get a big lot. We were able to get a very good sized lot when we purchased, but it takes a lot of thought. You got to pay for it. And ultimately, there's just not enough to go around. You kind of have to fight for them. In new construction with resales, the neighborhoods, when they built them back in the 70s and the 80s and the 90s, the land wasn't that expensive here in the Houston area, which meant they didn't mind giving you a third of an acre or a half of an acre lot. And so the homes were further apart. They didn't have these, 5-foot build lines like the new construction neighborhoods that make the homes literally 10 feet apart. With the resale homes, you're going to get bigger lots. They don't stack the homes on top of each other. A lot of the new construction these days is more profits driven than it used to be because the land was so cheap when they developed it. Really wasn't that big of a deal. Give the people what they want, which is the space. The other thing I will say in resale homes is you can get a lot of different architectural styles that you're not going to get with new construction. And so some people like certain styles or they like certain time periods and they obviously want to make renovations, but they might like a mid-century home. They might like a Spanish style home or a Mediterranean style home. And these are homes that have been built here that are older, that are dated, that can be either facelifted or they're a timeless design. And so that's another reason to go the resale route. Another reason to go resale route would be for niche opportunities like living on the lake. So Lake Conroe, for example, is one of the biggest buildable lakes here. There's not much new construction on it because they literally bought all the lots that are on the water and built for the most part. There's a couple lots left, but for the most part, that's going to be an example of when you're going to go the resale route, is when you go, hey, I want a lake house. We already touched on it, but yeah, geography is a big one. Depending on where you want to live in the city, the closer you are into the downtown, the less new construction opportunities there are going to be there. And so ultimately, if geography and location is more important to you than the actual house itself, you're going to want to really focus on the resale. So these are kind of the pros of the resale route. The other pros of the resale route sometimes are going to be price. So these homes have been lived in, you're paying for a used product, but ultimately you're paying the price for a used product. And so that can be a really good thing. Another thing that I like about resale homes is if you're open to the time commitment and financial commitments of a remodel, you can really do a lot with a resale home, and you might even be able to do it in an area that's, better for you than where they're building new construction. And so that might be a really great option for you. Another pro of, I would say, the resale homes is going to be similar to what I commented on the lake, is there's not a ton of golf course communities that they're actively building new construction. So if you wanted to be in an established golf course community, you might need to go the resale route. If that means a lot to you, maybe you're about to retire, or maybe you want your kids to be around the golf course, then that is something to prioritize as well. So ultimately, as you can see by listing off the pros and then a couple of the cons, you can see that they're very different. And so as we have clients reaching out to us, looking all across the Houston area, it's really important to make a list of what your priorities and what your goals are, and then see which one really starts to line up with it. And we've got a lot of clients that say, well, I don't know. Well, that's what this video is for. This video is to kind of tell you about new construction pros, the things to think about, like, do I want that warranty? Which, by the way, on resale homes, you can pay for a third-party home warranty. So that's an option over here as well. I don't want it to sound like it's just on the new construction, but with new construction, the builder offers that warranty every single time. On the resale, it's not always offered, but you can always go out and buy one yourself. So start asking these questions, see which one appeals to you more, and then that way when you do reach out, we have a really clear idea of where you're going to end up, and we're going to be able to help you better. And so, like we always say, if you got questions, leave them in the comments below. And if you're ready to kind of start the conversation about moving to the Houston area or have more questions, don't be shy. Give us a call, shoot us a text, or send us a quick email. That way we can help you make a smooth move right here to Houston, Texas. Thanks for watching, and go check out some of our other videos.